The Northern Territory Chief Minister, Natasha Files, refuses to say if her government will reinstate alcohol bans in the Alice Springs town camps. The decision on the bans has been pushed back until next week. But while alcohol bans are a significant step in curbing the violence, it's not the entire problem or solution. Joining me live now is Jason Lord. He is from the Community Boxing Academy in Alice Springs. Jason, thanks so much for your time. You've got a unique perspective here. So tell us what we need to know this morning.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much at this stage about the alcohol ban. I did hear a little bit this morning on the ABC radio from some important people. But look, I think from my perspective, if it means we have a little break from alcohol for a period, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it'll affect the town too well if there's a reduction in alcohol. So that's a positive thing. But with everything, there's always going to be that bit of grievance and worry. But look, it's just alcohol.
Yeah, Jason, look, we're talking about Alice as, this horrible place at the moment. And look, it's got its issues, but I imagine that you love the town too. What's life like living in Alice Springs?
Oh, it's great. It's a beautiful town. And look, Alice, isn't the only place in Australia that's struggling at the moment. And youth crime is everywhere. It's just one of those things, I think. Look, there's a bit of darkness. There's also some really good programs out there that are contributing to the town that have enough strength and positivity to shed a bit more light on the rest of the town. And look, it's everybody's issue. Look, I think us as Indigenous people, the custodians of Alice Springs, could get together a bit more better and work out some solutions.
Yeah.
I think there should be an opportunity there for us to be able to liaise and speak with the young people or the kids that are, causing a lot of havoc in town. And I don't think we've been down that road yet and spoken to the kids and to kind of see what's going on with them and why it is this way. So, let's see if there's an opportunity to speak to the children or the youth and to see what the whole thing is.
And what do you see at your boxing academy? I mean, boxing is such a discipline. It requires fitness. It requires dedication. Have you been able to turn some lives around there?
Oh, big time. Look, boxing is big for me. If I didn't get into boxing myself, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you right now having this conversation.
Just let me pull you up there. What is your story, Jason? What have you been through?
Yeah, local lad that kind of got into a lot of trouble, basically similar to what these kids are doing today. I think, in the late 80s and early 90s, I probably made up a lot of the stuff that they're doing today. I was incarcerated for a little period and, in the court systems and one of those kids that, ran a havoc in a small town in Katherine. And boxing was my way out. I think it was all subconscious. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what the plan was. I grew up in a really dysfunctional setting with a lot of alcohol, violence and trauma. But, great people involved with boxing. And there's a guy in Katherine back then, his name's Sadi Garling. He's passed on now. And he was my first ever mentor, first person that kind of showed me that there's some love and there's something there. And that's basically what we bring to boxing in Alice Springs. That's what we bring to our boxing academy is, that care factor is probably one of our major aspects of that place and what it sort of thrives on, I suppose. And I think that's something else that the town has to adapt to. We've got to get back that caring system.
Yeah, a bit of love. And it was boxing for you, Jason. It doesn't have to be boxing for all these kids. Is it fair to say that they need a little bit of love, but also they need something to do?
That's right. And, there's some really good programs in Alice and they engage our program. So on a weekly basis, we get some of these programs that are involved with the diversion style systems, and they come through our boxing academy, and there's some great young fellas in there. And some of these guys obviously have been a part of what's actually happening today. I can tell you right now, a lot of those kids don't want this to continue on. So we've had discussions with some of these young fellas about, look, what can we do to help those guys stand up and be a part of this solution also. So that's something we're working towards, and we'll be having discussions with other services about. But look, the town council's trying. Alice Springs is a very functional town when it comes together, and everybody wants the same outcome. We do too. It's just one of those things, I think. And the Boxing Academy is pushing. We're trying. We're a non-funded program. We all volunteer. There's no injection of funds coming through our academy.
Is that the beauty of it, Jason? I'm sure you'd love some funds from the federal government, but is that part of it, that it's volunteer basis and it's not these top-down federal funding? So there's a bit of grit in it.
Yeah, look, we're motivated, and we're motivated with town, and that's I think something that's very important. I think the government need to utilise us a bit better, particularly us guys that have been in the system. I work within a justice-style system in my day job, so we know most of these guys. We liaise a little bit with some of these kids in the boxing academy, but there's a little bit more that we can do. But again, it's some constraints there, and most of us are working day jobs. So if we had a bit more support from the government, we could definitely have some time from work and do this full time, and get out and start making a change.
Well, we hear you loud and clear this morning, Jason. I tell you what, after all the negative press, and it's required to change, it's so good to talk to you this morning as well, because you've got solutions, you know things that have worked, and you're optimistic, and you obviously love Alice. So thanks so much.
Well, it's our town. Thank you.